Welcome to Critical Care Time, the podcast for everyone who takes care of the critically ill. I'm Dr. Cyrus Askin, joined by Dr. Nick Mark, the real brains behind the operation, if I do say so myself. We are two triple board certified intensivists with a passion for education and a penchant for caring for the sickest patients in the hospital. Nick, since this is our introductory episode, why don't we tell the audience a little bit about ourselves?
Absolutely. We've got to start somewhere, Cyrus, and we might as well introduce ourselves. I'm Dr. Nick Mark. I'm a pulmonary critical care trained intensivist in Seattle, Washington. My hobby is finding novel forms of medical education. I love infographics, and I created a med-ed website called ICU One Pager. I'm also a huge fan of ultrasound and a big physiology nerd. Cyrus, why don't you follow suit?
Thanks, Nick. I'm an academic pulmonary and critical care physician in Texas, where I wear multiple hats. I'm an ICU medical director, and I'm also the associate program director for an internal medicine residency. In addition to that, I'm a longtime producer on the Curbsiders Internal Medicine podcast, which has really motivated me to be here today. After a lot of soul searching, a bit of luck, and a kick in the pants from my friend and podcast mentor, Matt Watto, here I am sharing the stage with you, Nick.
Great. Well, our goal is to create the med-ed podcast for everyone who cares for people with critical illness. We embrace telling the why behind the what, really deeply understanding the physiology that informs critical care. We also love deep dives. Some topics are complex, and we're not afraid to take the time to tell the story right, if that's what the topic requires. Don't worry, though. We'll always try to cut these episodes into bite-sized, commute-friendly 30-minute segments. People also learn many different ways. Whenever possible, we're going to try to use multimodality learning that combines audio, video, and infographics. So be sure to follow us on social media, YouTube, and your favorite podcast app so you can consume all of the different types of content we're producing.
And critical care, it's not all blood and glory. We plan to embrace some unsexy topics that the other podcasts maybe don't cover. Things like prophylaxis, nutrition, weaning vasopressors, mechanical ventilation, etc. And, not everything in medicine or life is neat and tidy. Some areas of critical care are messy or maybe even controversial, and we plan to embrace that and discuss those areas of disagreement.
We aspire to tell some of the human stories behind the medicine as well. This isn't just going to be science. We're going to try to tie it all back to the people. And finally, when we said that Critical Care Time is the podcast for everyone who cares for the critically ill, we really meant that. Regardless of where you work, if you care for sick patients in the ED, the wards, the PACU, the ICU, or the back of an ambulance, we hope Critical Care Time can make you more confident and capable at caring for people with critical illness.
And of course, like many things, it takes a village. We've been fortunate to meet some incredible intensive care experts during our journeys through the world of critical care, and we're excited to bring several of them on board as team members. We are just thrilled to have this fantastic cadre, and we look forward to introducing you to these folks over the course of the season.
Beyond us, our team, and of course our guests, we're hoping to create a really robust critical care community for the exchange of knowledge in the pursuit of better patient care. That means we want to hear from you what you think. Leave us a comment, go to our website, be part of the discussion there.
I feel like I sound like a broken record here. I just can't say how excited I am to be able to work on this project with you, Nick, and really see where this goes. And it is important to reiterate, this isn't a one-way street. We want to learn from the collective wisdom of all our listeners, and we want to be able to sort of mold this podcast based upon the input from the folks that listen to us.
I think we should also say what Critical Care Time isn't. Understanding physiology and pathophysiology is crucial and foundational in critical care, but we're going to try to keep everything laser focused on how to apply those concepts to take care of sick people. If you want to hear an hour about the glycocalyx, this is not the podcast for you. Understanding the evidence for what we do is paramount. And as we go, we're going to cite the pivotal studies and explain why they changed our practice. We'll also include links so our listeners can go read them and decide for themselves. But if what you're really after is an hour-long podcast obsessing over the minutia of studies and fetishizing p-values, this is not the podcast for you either. Finally, our hope is that this podcast will be engaging. Occasionally, we'll get a little bit edgy, expect some jokes. We're going to have some segments like Dogma or Dog. Don't worry, we'll always out the so we'll be able to listen with small kids in the car. But if you're looking for a dry, monotone hour,
also known as an over-the-counter sleep aid,
then Critical Care Time may not be the podcast for you.
Well, Nick, I think we've done enough to set the stage for our upcoming season. You'll hear from us at least once every few weeks while we work through our tasting menu of high-yield, patient-centered topics in critical care. You'll also get to meet our awesome team. So make sure you keep an eye out for all the episodes that we have lined up. And keep an eye out, especially for the guests, the journal clubs, the debates, and more. We're just super excited to bring all this to you.
As you can imagine, getting something like this off the ground requires a lot of resources. Fortunately, we're very grateful for the sponsorship of C-Star Medical, who helped bring Critical Care Time to life. You'll hear more about them in the intro to each episode as we go.
Well, hopefully we've gotten you excited for more. And good news, there are more episodes waiting for you to download and listen right now. So please make sure to subscribe to our podcast using iTunes, Spotify, or whatever service you choose.
Be sure to leave us a 5-star review and comments so we know what you think and what you want to hear more of. Follow us on Twitter at CritCareTime, Instagram, critical_care_time, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at CritCareTime. Make sure to check out our awesome website, www.criticalcaretime.com, for links to shows, show notes, infographics, and more. Until next time, I'm Dr. Nick Mark.
And I'm Dr. Cyrus Askin. So long, thanks for listening, and we hope you enjoy the show.